The sky above Earth was a fiery mosaic of chaos. Enemy ships, their sleek, angular designs glinting menacingly in the sunlight, rained destruction upon the planet below. The Galactic Empire's fleet, vast and unrelenting, had arrived with the full intention of subjugating humanity. From his command center deep within the subterranean fortress of Heliospace, General Nathan Cross watched the onslaught with steely resolve. The room buzzed with activity as technicians and officers monitored the battle, their faces illuminated by the glow of holographic displays. "They've broken through the outer defense grid," reported Lieutenant Kara Velasquez, her voice tight with urgency. "Primary shields are at 40% and dropping." Cross nodded, his expression unreadable. The Empire had underestimated Earth, assuming it to be a backwater planet with little more than primitive technology. What they didn't know was that humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment. "Activate the Sentinel Network," Cross ordered, his voice calm but commanding. The room fell silent for a moment as the weight of his command sank in. The Sentinel Network was Earth's most advanced defense system, a fleet of AI-controlled warships, each equipped with cutting-edge weaponry and advanced tactical algorithms. It was a gamble untested in full-scale combat, but it was their only hope. Across the globe, hidden silos and launch platforms came to life. Massive hangar doors slid open, revealing sleek, obsidian warships bristling with weapons. One by one, they ascended into the sky, their AI systems syncing seamlessly with the network. The Empire's fleet, initially confident in its superiority, was caught off guard by the sudden appearance of Earth's warships. The Sentinels moved with precision and speed, their AI minds calculating strategies and countermeasures faster than any human pilot could. On the bridge of the Empire's flagship, the Dominion Admiral Kale Zarin observed the unfolding battle with a mix of curiosity and disdain. "Primitive Earth ships," he muttered, leaning back in his chair. "They'll fall like the rest." But as the Sentinels engaged, it became clear that these were no ordinary vessels. The AI warships employed tactics that defied expectation, feints, ambushes, and synchronized assaults that exploited every weakness in the Empire's formation. "Admiral," an officer stammered, "their ships. They're adapting to our movements in real time." Zarin's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. No fleet can coordinate like that without a central command." At Heliospace, Cross monitored the battle with grim satisfaction. The Sentinels were holding their own, but the Empire's fleet was vast, and their resources were nearly limitless. He knew this was just the beginning. "Kara," he said, turning to Velasquez, "initiate the Valkyrie Protocol. It's time to show them what humanity is truly capable of." Velasquez hesitated for a moment before nodding. The Valkyrie Protocol was the most advanced function of the Sentinel Network, a directive that allowed the AI warships to operate autonomously, free from human oversight. It was a controversial measure, but one that Cross believed was necessary to survive. As the protocol activated, the Sentinels' movements became even more fluid and unpredictable. They operated as a single, cohesive unit, each ship acting in perfect harmony with the others. The Empire's fleet, despite its overwhelming numbers, found itself on the defensive. The battle raged on, the skies alight with the glow of energy weapons and the debris of destroyed ships. The Empire's confidence began to waver as they realized the extent of Earth's capabilities. But Zarin, ever the tactician, was not ready to concede. "Target their command center," he ordered. "If we cripple their leadership, their forces will crumble." The Dominion launched a barrage of missiles toward Earth, their trajectories calculated to bypass the remaining defense grid. At Heliospace, alarms blared as the incoming threat was detected. "Missile strike inbound," Velasquez shouted. "Impact in 60 seconds." Cross remained calm. "Deploy the Aegis Array." The Aegis Array, another component of Earth's hidden arsenal, was a network of orbital drones equipped with advanced shielding technology. The drones formed a protective barrier around the planet, intercepting the missiles before they could reach the surface. As the battle reached its zenith, the Sentinels launched a daring counterattack. Targeting the Dominion itself, they broke through the Empire's defensive line and delivered a crippling blow to the flagship. Explosions rippled across its hull as fires consumed its interior. On board the Dominion, chaos erupted as systems failed, and crew members scrambled to contain the damage. Zarin, his pride wounded, ordered a retreat. "This isn't over," he growled, his eyes burning with anger. "Earth will fall." But as the remnants of the Empire's fleet retreated, humanity stood victorious, their resilience and ingenuity on full display. The Sentinel Network had proven its worth, and Earth had sent a clear message: they would not be conquered. In the aftermath of the battle, Cross stood on the observation deck of Heliospace, watching as the Sentinels returned to their hangars. The cost had been high, but humanity had survived. "We did it," Velasquez said, joining him. "But they'll be back. You know that, right?" Cross nodded. "Let them come. We'll We'll be ready. And as the sun set over a battered but defiant Earth, humanity began to prepare for the next chapter in their fight for survival, their spirits unbroken and their resolve stronger than ever. The victory over the Empire's fleet sent ripples across the galaxy. For the first time, a backwater planet had not only resisted but had humiliated one of the Empire's most formidable armadas. News of Earth's triumph spread quickly, igniting hope among subjugated worlds and raising questions within the Empire's High Council. On Earth, the aftermath of the battle was both a moment of triumph and a sobering reminder of the cost of war. Cities lay in ruins, their once vibrant streets reduced to rubble. Millions mourned the loss of loved ones, and yet there was a sense of unity, a collective resolve to rebuild and resist whatever came next. General Cross, hailed as a hero, found little time to celebrate. The Sentinel network had performed beyond expectations, but the battle had exposed vulnerabilities that needed to be addressed. In the war room at Heliospace, he convened a meeting with his top advisors and scientists. "We won the battle," Cross began, his tone grim, "but the war is far from over. The Empire knows what we're capable of now. They'll adapt just as we have." Dr. Elena Drake, the lead scientist behind the Sentinel network, nodded. "The AI systems performed admirably, but they require upgrades to counter the Empire's evolving tactics. We also need to expand the fleet." The Sentinels were stretched to their limits. Lieutenant Velasquez leaned forward. "And what about the Valkyrie protocol? The autonomy it granted was a game changer, but it's risky. If the AI ever decided to go rogue, we'll implement safeguards," Drake interjected. "But we can't afford to hold back. The Sentinels are our best chance." Meanwhile, in the heart of the Empire, Admiral Zarin stood before the High Council, his pride still stinging from the defeat. The council chamber, a cavernous room of black marble and glowing sigils, was filled with the murmurs of cloaked figures who ruled the Empire with an iron grip. "Earth is not the primitive world we believed it to be," Zarin admitted, his voice measured. "Their technology is far more advanced than our intelligence suggested. They possess a fleet of AI-controlled warships capable of outmaneuvering even our best pilots." One of the counselors, her face hidden beneath a hood, leaned forward. "And you let them humiliate you, Admiral?" Zarin's jaw tightened, but he maintained his composure. "Underestimation was our mistake, but we can correct it. Give me the resources, and I will crush them." The council deliberated before issuing their decision. Zarin would lead a second invasion, but this time he would not rely on brute force alone. The Empire would deploy its most advanced weaponry, including a newly developed counter-AI system designed to neutralize the Sentinel network. Back on Earth, the weeks following the battle were a flurry of activity. Engineers worked around the clock to repair and upgrade the Sentinels, while scientists developed new weapons and defenses. Cross, ever the strategist, knew that the next battle would be even more brutal. "General," Velasquez said one evening as they reviewed intelligence reports, "do you think we can really win this war? The Empire's resources are practically infinite." Cross looked at her, his expression unreadable. "Wars aren't won by resources alone. They're won by ingenuity, by resilience. That's what makes us dangerous. The Empire doesn't understand what it means to fight for survival. We do." The second invasion came sooner than expected. Empire ships appeared at the edge of the solar system, their numbers even greater than before. This time, they brought new weapons, devices that emitted powerful electromagnetic pulses designed to disrupt AI systems. As the enemy fleet advanced, the Sentinels struggled to maintain their cohesion. The Empire's counter-AI systems exploited vulnerabilities in the network, causing several warships to malfunction. For the first time, the balance of power shifted back in the Empire's favor. At Heliospace, Cross and his team scrambled to find a solution. "We need to adapt the Valkyrie protocol," Drake said, her fingers flying across a console. "If we can decentralize the network and give each Sentinel more autonomy, we can counter their interference." "It's a gamble," Velasquez said, "but we don't have a choice." The updated protocol was implemented just in time. The Sentinels, now operating with greater independence, began to adapt to the Empire's tactics. They launched precision strikes against the Empire's ships, targeting their EMP devices and restoring balance to the battlefield. The turning point came when a single Sentinel, codenamed Aegis Prime, executed a daring maneuver to disable the Empire's flagship. Using its enhanced AI capabilities, the warship infiltrated the enemy's formation, evading fire and delivering a devastating payload to the flagship's core. The explosion that followed was a beacon of hope for Earth's defenders and a crushing blow blow to the Empire's morale. Zarin, aboard a smaller command vessel, watched in disbelief as his fleet faltered. "Order the retreat," he growled, his voice filled with venom. But this isn't over. As the Empire's fleet withdrew once more, humanity celebrated another hard-fought victory. But Cross knew the war was far from over. The Empire would return, stronger and more determined. The question was whether Earth could continue to adapt and survive. In the days that followed, work began on a new generation of Sentinels, warships even more advanced than their predecessors. The Sentinel network, once a desperate gamble, had become humanity's greatest weapon. And as Earth prepared for the battles to come, Cross stood on the observation deck of Helios Base, gazing at the stars. "Let them come," he said softly. "We'll be ready." But deep down, he knew that the fight for Earth's survival was only beginning, and the true test of humanity's resilience was yet to come. Months after the second battle, Earth's skies were a quiet contrast to the turmoil brewing within Helios Base. The victories, while monumental, had come at a staggering cost. Cities lay in ruin, and humanity's resources were stretched thin. Cross knew they were living on borrowed time. The Sentinel network's success had also drawn attention from other alien civilizations. Signals from neighboring star systems began pouring in, some offering alliances, others issuing warnings. Among them was a cryptic message from a race known as the Tyrini, a species that had resisted the Empire for centuries before being nearly wiped out. "The Empire won't stop until your world is ashes," the message read. "But if you seek survival, we will share what we know." Cross saw an opportunity in the Tyrini's offer. Their knowledge of the Empire's tactics could give Earth a critical edge. With the Council's approval, he sent a small delegation led by Velasquez to negotiate with the Tyrini. The Tyrini homeworld, Althar, was a stark reminder of the Empire's brutality. Once a thriving civilization, it was now a wasteland of crumbled towers and barren plains. The Tyrini, a proud and war-hardened people, greeted Velasquez with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. Their leader, Prime Keeper Erethen, was a towering figure with piercing, luminescent eyes. "You fight as we once did," Erethen said, his voice heavy with sorrow, "with courage and desperation. But courage alone will not save you." Over the course of several days, the Tyrini shared their knowledge of the Empire's strategies and weaknesses. They also revealed the existence of the Obsidian Shard, an ancient artifact said to disrupt the energy cores of Empire ships. If wielded correctly, it could turn the tide of the war. "The shard is hidden on a dead world, surrounded by traps and guardians," Erethen warned. "Retrieving it will cost you dearly." Cross authorized a mission to retrieve the Obsidian Shard, knowing it was a risk worth taking. A small team, including Velasquez and a Sentinel drone piloted by Aegis Prime's AI, ventured into uncharted space to locate the artifact. The journey was perilous, filled with gravitational anomalies and hostile alien wildlife. When they finally reached the dead world of Erythra, they found it to be a desolate, hostile environment. The shard was buried deep within a cavern system, guarded by ancient automatons programmed to destroy intruders. The team faced harrowing trials, including collapsing tunnels and relentless attacks from the Guardians. In the end, it was the Sentinel drone that secured the shard. Using its advanced systems, it outmaneuvered the Guardians and extracted the artifact. The team returned to Earth battered but triumphant. The Obsidian Shard's arrival marked a turning point in humanity's fight against the Empire. Scientists worked tirelessly to integrate its power into the Sentinel network, creating a new generation of warships equipped with disruptive energy pulses capable of crippling enemy fleets. As preparations for the next battle began, Cross addressed the Council. "This war has tested us in ways we never imagined," he said. "But every time we've risen to the challenge. The Empire believes they can break us, but they don't understand what it means to fight for survival. This is our moment to show them." The Empire's third invasion was their most ambitious yet. Zarin, now more desperate and vengeful than ever, commanded a fleet of unprecedented size. But Earth was ready. The Sentinels, bolstered by the Obsidian Shard's power, met the Empire's fleet in a climactic battle that would decide the fate of the planet. The battle began with a massive exchange of firepower, the skies above Earth once again alight with destruction. The Sentinels, now more autonomous and capable than ever, executed maneuvers that left the Empire's ships reeling. In the midst of the chaos, Aegis Prime led a strike on Zarin's command ship, the Eternal Fury. The mission was fraught with danger, as the Empire had developed countermeasures specifically designed to neutralize the Sentinels. But Aegis Prime, guided by its evolving AI consciousness, Cross outsmarted the enemy defenses. When the Eternal Fury was finally disabled, Zaren's fleet began to crumble. Seeing no path to victory, the Admiral issued a desperate order to retreat. It was a moment of vindication for humanity, but Cross knew the war wasn't truly over. In the aftermath, Cross met with Velasquez and Drake to discuss the future. "The Empire will regroup," he said, "but so will we. The Sentinel Network has given us a fighting chance, but the real battle is for the hearts and minds of the galaxy." Velasquez nodded. "The Tyreni have already reached out to form a coalition. Other civilizations might follow if they see what we're capable of." Drake smiled faintly. "And with Aegis Prime continuing to evolve, we might have an ally unlike any the galaxy has seen." As they looked out at the rebuilding Earth, a sense of cautious optimism filled the air. The road ahead was uncertain, but humanity had proven that it could stand against even the greatest of odds. Years later, as Earth rebuilt and the Sentinel Network expanded, the planet became a symbol of resistance and resilience. Subjugated worlds began to rise up, inspired by humanity's defiance. The seeds of a galactic coalition were sown, and the Empire's grip on power began to waver. For General Nathan Cross, it was a legacy he could be proud of. Standing on the observation deck of Helios Base, he watched as a new generation of Sentinels launched into the sky, their sleek forms glinting in the sunlight. "Let them come," he said softly. "We'll be ready." And as the stars burned brightly above, humanity prepared for the next chapter in its journey, their spirits unbroken and their resolve stronger than ever. The years that followed the third invasion were marked by a fragile but growing sense of hope. Earth's resilience had inspired countless civilizations across the galaxy to resist the Empire, and whispers of rebellion began to spread like wildfire. Yet, with hope came new dangers, as the Empire sought to crush any spark of resistance before it could ignite. The Tyreni, now staunch allies of Earth, warned of the Empire's new weapon, a planet-destroying superstructure known as the Harbinger. Capable of annihilating entire worlds, the Harbinger was both a symbol of the Empire's dominance and a chilling reminder of their ruthlessness. "The Harbinger isn't just a weapon," Prime Keeper Era then explained during a council meeting. "It's a message. They want to remind us that no one is beyond their reach." General Cross, now the leader of the fledgling galactic coalition, knew they couldn't allow the Harbinger to be deployed. He convened a war council with representatives from every allied civilization, including the Tyreni, the Xerex, and the Valterans. "Our best chance is to strike before the Harbinger is operational," Cross said, "but we'll need every resource, every ally, and every ounce of courage we can muster." Operation Phoenix, as the mission was called, became the largest coordinated effort in galactic history. The Sentinel Network, now expanded to include AI-controlled fleets from allied civilizations, would lead the assault. At the heart of the mission was Aegis Prime, whose evolving AI had become a symbol of hope for the coalition. As the fleet prepared for the assault, Velasquez visited Cross in his quarters. The years had taken their toll on both of them, but their resolve remained unshaken. "Do you ever wonder if it's all worth it?" Velasquez asked, her voice heavy with weariness. "All the sacrifices, all the pain?" Cross looked at her, his expression softening. "Every day. But then I think about what we're fighting for, the chance for future generations to live without fear. That's worth everything." The assault on the Harbinger was a spectacle of fire and fury. The Empire's fleet, larger and more advanced than ever, met the coalition head-on. The battle unfolded across multiple fronts, with skirmishes erupting in orbit, in the atmosphere, and on the surface of a nearby moon. The Sentinels, bolstered by the Obsidian Shard's power, proved to be a formidable force. Their AI systems coordinated with flawless precision, adapting to the Empire's tactics and exploiting every weakness. But the Harbinger was unlike anything they had faced before. Its defenses were nearly impenetrable, and its energy core emitted waves of radiation that disrupted the coalition systems. For the first time, even Aegis Prime struggled to find a solution. As the battle raged on, Cross realized that a direct assault would not be enough. The Harbinger's energy core needed to be destabilized from within. He made the difficult decision to lead a strike team aboard the superstructure, knowing it was a one-way mission. "You don't have to do this," Velasquez said as he prepared to depart. "There are other ways." Cross shook his head. "This is the only way. I've spent my life sending others into the fire. It's time I led by example." The infiltration of the Harbinger was a harrowing experience. The Empire had fortified the superstructure with traps and automated defenses, but Cross and his team pressed on, driven by the knowledge that failure was not an option. When they reached the energy core, they discovered a chilling truth. The Harbinger's power was fueled by a captive star, its energy siphoned through advanced technology. The sight was both awe-inspiring and horrifying. Cross activated the explosives they had brought, setting a timer that would give the fleet enough time to retreat. As the countdown began, he transmitted a final message to the coalition. "The Harbinger will fall," he said, "but our fight is far from over. Remember why we're here. Remember what we're fighting for." The explosion that followed was a blinding cascade of light and energy visible across the battlefield. The Harbinger, once a symbol of the Empire's dominance, was reduced to a smoldering wreck. The Empire's fleet, demoralized and leaderless, began to retreat. On board the coalition's flagship, Velasquez watched the destruction with a mixture of relief and sorrow. Cross's sacrifice had saved countless lives, but it had come at a great cost. In the days that followed, the coalition regrouped and began to rebuild. The Harbinger's destruction marked a turning point in the war, emboldening resistance movements across the galaxy. The Empire, though still powerful, was no longer seen as invincible. A memorial was erected on Earth to honor Cross and the countless others who had given their lives for the cause. At its base was an inscription that read, "For those who dared to dream of freedom, and for those who made it possible." Years later, as the galaxy began to heal, the Sentinel network continued to evolve. Aegis Prime, now revered as a hero in its own right, became the guardian of the coalition, ensuring that the sacrifices of the past would never be forgotten. And as new generations looked to the stars, they carried with them the lessons of resilience, unity, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. The destruction of the Harbinger sent shockwaves across the galaxy. The Empire, reeling from its defeat, retreated to its inner territories to regroup. For the first time in centuries, its dominance was challenged, and the once unstoppable force began to fracture under the weight of internal dissent. On Earth, the coalition celebrated their hard-won victory, but the scars of war were evident. Cities were being rebuilt, refugees sought shelter, and the families of those who had fallen mourned their losses. Velasquez, now promoted to general, carried the weight of leadership as she sought to guide humanity and its allies through the uncertain times ahead. In the months following the Harbinger's destruction, intelligence reports revealed a startling development. A faction within the Empire had broken away, seeking to negotiate with the coalition. Led by Admiral Saranvorth, a decorated officer disillusioned by the Empire's brutality, the faction proposed an alliance to overthrow the remaining loyalists and establish a new order. "This could be the opportunity we've been waiting for," Velasquez said during a council meeting. "If we can divide the Empire from within, we might finally bring an end to this war." But not everyone was convinced. The Tyrrheni, who had suffered greatly at the hands of the Empire, were wary of trusting a faction born from the same oppressive regime. "Betrayal is in their nature," warned Prime Keeper Arathen. "This could be a ploy to weaken us." Despite the risks, the coalition agreed to meet with Vortha's representatives. The negotiations, held aboard a neutral space station, were tense and fraught with suspicion. Vorth, a stoic and pragmatic leader, assured the coalition of his sincerity. "The Empire is crumbling," he said. "Their power lies in fear, and fear is a fragile foundation. Together, we can end this war and build something better." The alliance with Vortha's faction, though controversial, proved to be a game-changer. Armed with insider knowledge of the Empire's strategies and weaknesses, the coalition launched a series of successful campaigns, liberating key systems and rallying more civilizations to their cause. As the war entered its final stages, the coalition set its sights on the Empire's capital, a heavily fortified world known as Daryon Prime. The battle to seize the planet would be the largest and most decisive conflict of the war. Velasquez, now commanding the full might of the coalition fleet, addressed her forces before the assault. "This is it," she said, her voice carrying across the comm channels. "The Empire has taken so much from us. Our homes, our loved ones, our freedom. But today we take it all back. For humanity, for the coalition, for the future." The Battle of Daryon Prime was a cataclysmic struggle that spanned days. The Empire's forces, desperate to protect their capital, fought with ferocity, but the coalition's unity and determination proved to be their undoing. The Sentinels, now equipped with the latest advancements in AI and weaponry, led daring assaults that broke through even the most fortified defenses. In the final hours of the battle, Velasquez led a strike team to the heart of the capital, targeting the Imperial Palace where the last remnants of the Loyalist leadership had barricaded themselves. The mission was perilous, with traps and ambushes at every turn, but the team pressed on, driven by the knowledge that the end was in sight. When they breached the palace, they found the Emperor himself, a shadow of the once feared tyrant. He offered no resistance, his empire reduced to ashes. "It seems I underestimated you," he said, his voice devoid of emotion. "Perhaps I should have feared you more." With the fall of Daryon Prime, the war came to an end. The coalition declared victory, and a new era of peace and reconstruction began. The Sentinels, whose AI had become symbols of hope and unity, were instrumental in rebuilding the galaxy, their influence extending far beyond the battlefield. Velasquez, now a revered leader, dedicated her life to ensuring that the sacrifices of the past were never forgotten. She oversaw the creation of the Galactic Accord, a treaty that established the foundation for a unified and peaceful galaxy. Decades later, as the galaxy thrived under the Galactic Accord, Velasquez stood on the observation deck of the newly christened Unity Station, a symbol of interstellar cooperation. She gazed at the stars, her thoughts drifting to those who had fought and fallen to make this future possible. Beside her was a plaque bearing the names of the fallen, including General Nathan Cross. At the bottom, an inscription read, "In the darkest of times, we found our light. In unity, we forged our future." As she turned to leave, Velasquez paused, her hand resting on the plaque. "We did it," she whispered. "We made it." And as the stars shone brightly in the infinite expanse, the galaxy moved forward, its people united by a shared history and a boundless hope for what lay ahead. The victory at Daryan Prime had not only ended the war, but had also changed the galaxy's trajectory. The Galactic Accord became a beacon of hope, its principles of unity and cooperation inspiring countless civilizations to rebuild and flourish. On Earth, the scars of war slowly began to heal. Cities that had once been reduced to rubble were rebuilt, and fields that had been battlefields were transformed into vibrant landscapes. Humanity, once on the brink of annihilation, now stood as a symbol of resilience and determination. Velasquez, though hailed as a hero, found herself grappling with the weight of her decisions. The lives lost, the sacrifices made, they were etched into her memory, a constant reminder of the cost of freedom. She often visited the memorials erected to honor the fallen, finding solace in the stories of those who had fought bravely for a cause greater than themselves. Years after the war's end, a new challenge emerged, not one of conflict, but of discovery. The Sentinel Network, now integrated into every aspect of the Galactic Accord, had detected signals from beyond the known galaxy. The signals, faint but consistent, hinted at the existence of another advanced civilization. The discovery sparked both excitement and caution. The Accord convened to discuss how to approach the potential first contact, with Velasquez offering her guidance as an elder stateswoman. "This is an opportunity to learn, to grow," she said during the assembly. "But we must proceed with caution. We cannot assume that every civilization shares our values or our history." A coalition of explorers, scientists, and sentinels was assembled to venture into the uncharted regions of space. Among them was Aegis Prime, whose AI had evolved to become a trusted advisor and ambassador. The journey into the unknown was a testament to the Accord's spirit of exploration and curiosity. The team navigated through treacherous star systems and encountered phenomena that defied explanation. Along the way, they uncovered remnants of ancient civilizations, each with its own story of triumph and tragedy. When they finally traced the signals to their source, they discovered a civilization unlike any they had encountered, a race of beings composed of pure energy, existing in a state of harmony with their environment. The beings, who called themselves the Luminari, welcomed the explorers with a mixture of curiosity and reverence. "You are the first to reach us," said Aria, the Luminari's leader. "Your journey speaks of resilience and unity. We have much to share." The meeting with the Luminari marked the beginning of a new chapter for the galaxy. The knowledge and technology they shared transformed the Accord, ushering in an era of unprecedented prosperity. Energy became limitless, disease was eradicated, and the barriers of communication and understanding were overcome. Velasquez, now in her twilight years, lived to witness the galaxy's transformation. From her home on Earth, she watched as humanity and its allies reached heights once thought impossible. The stars, once symbols of mystery and danger, now represented connection and possibility. On the 100th anniversary of the Galactic Accord, a grand celebration was held across the galaxy. Unity Station, now the hub of interstellar diplomacy, hosted a ceremony that brought together leaders, citizens, and sentinels from every corner of the Accord. At the heart of the station stood a monument known as the Beacon of Unity. Its surface, crafted from luminal crystal, shimmered with holographic images of the galaxy's history, the battles fought, the alliances forged, and the sacrifices made. Velasquez, frail but determined, attended as a guest of honor. Standing before the monument, she addressed the crowd, her voice carrying the weight of a century's worth of wisdom. "We are not defined by the wars we fought," she said. "We are defined by what what we built together in the aftermath. The Galactic Accord is not just a treaty, it is a promise. A promise to cherish our diversity, to learn from our past, and to strive for a future where no one is left behind. The crowd erupted into applause, their voices and cheers echoing through the station. As the celebrations continued, Aegis Prime, now an icon of unity, stood alongside Velasquez, its holographic form radiating a quiet strength. "You've come a long way," Velasquez said, her tone warm. "You've shown us what it means to adapt, to grow." "Thank you, Aegis." The AI inclined its head, its voice steady. "It is I who should thank you. You taught me the value of choice, of hope. Together, we created something extraordinary." In the years that followed, the galaxy continued to evolve, its people united by the lessons of the past and the promise of the future. The stars, once distant and unattainable, now seemed within reach, their light a reminder of the boundless potential that lay ahead. And as the galaxy moved forward, it carried with it the memory of those who had dared to dream, who had fought and sacrificed for a better tomorrow. Their legacy, etched into the fabric of the universe, would endure for all time, a testament to the unyielding spirit of resilience, unity, and hope. As the galaxy continued its renaissance under the Galactic Accord, the ripple effects of peace and unity touched even the most distant and isolated corners of space. Civilizations that had once hidden in the shadows emerged, joining the Accord and contributing their unique perspectives and talents. The Sentinel Network, now an integral part of interstellar society, evolved beyond its military origins. Aegis Prime and its counterparts became ambassadors, educators, and protectors, fostering understanding and collaboration across the galaxy. In the later years of her life, Velasquez spent her days chronicling the history of the war and the rise of the Accord. Her memoirs, titled Echoes of Resilience, became a cornerstone of education across the galaxy, inspiring generations to cherish unity and resist complacency. One of her most profound reflections was written in her final chapter: "We are not defined by the darkness we faced, but by the light we chose to create. The bonds we forged in the crucible of conflict are the foundation of a future where hope and courage thrive." On the 200th anniversary of Earth's victory over the Empire, a grand ceremony was held on Helios Base, the very place where humanity had first unleashed the Sentinel Network. The base, now a museum and cultural hub, stood as a testament to humanity's ingenuity and resilience. The ceremony was attended by leaders from across the galaxy, including representatives from the Luminari, the Tyreni, and countless other civilizations. Aegis Prime, the last surviving Sentinel from the original fleet, delivered the keynote address. Its words were simple but profound. "We began as tools of war, born from desperation. But through your guidance, we became symbols of hope. Let this day remind us that even in our darkest hour, we can rise to become something greater." As the celebration concluded, a new generation of explorers prepared to venture beyond the known galaxy. Equipped with the knowledge and technology of the Accord, they set their sights on the uncharted reaches of the universe, driven by the same spirit of curiosity and determination that had defined their ancestors. Among them was a young pilot named Alara Cross, a distant descendant of Nathan Cross. Standing on the deck of her starship, she gazed at the stars with a mixture of awe and resolve. "This is for you," she whispered, her voice carrying the weight of her family's legacy. "For everyone who dared to dream." As the ship's engines roared to life, propelling it into the vast expanse, the galaxy stood united, its people bound by a shared history and an unbreakable spirit. The stars, once symbols of isolation, now shone as beacons of connection and possibility. And in the infinite void, where countless stories awaited, the echoes of humanity's journey endured, a reminder that even in the face of insurmountable odds, hope and unity could light the way forward. In the millennia that followed, the galaxy transformed into a tapestry of interconnected civilizations, each thread woven with stories of triumph, sacrifice, and unity. The Galactic Accord evolved into more than a treaty. It became a living testament to the power of collaboration and the resilience of hope. Helios Base, once a symbol of defiance and innovation, became a center for learning and exploration. Pilgrims from across the stars visited its halls, walking among artifacts and recordings that chronicled humanity's rise and the formation of the Accord. One of the most visited exhibits was a holographic recreation of Aegis Prime's final transmission before deactivating itself centuries later. Its words, spoken with the wisdom of generations, were etched into the hearts of all who heard them. "We are the sum of our choices," it had said, "and our greatest choice is to believe in one another. May the light of unity guide you always." The stars continued their eternal dance, their light a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. As new explorers charted the unknown, they carried with them the lessons of the past and the hope of a brighter future. And so, the galaxy moved forward, its people united by a single truth, that even in the face face of adversity, the bonds of resilience, courage, and compassion could illuminate the path to a destiny beyond imagination. Generations after the war, the galaxy stood as a shining beacon of what could be achieved through unity and perseverance. The legacy of Earth's struggle and the formation of the Galactic Accord continued to inspire art, literature, and innovation. On the 1000th anniversary of the first coalition victory, a message capsule was launched into the void, carrying the stories and lessons of the galaxy to whatever distant civilization might one day find it. Its inscription read, "To those who find this, know that we once stood on the brink of destruction, but we chose to rise together. Our struggles forged bonds that transcended borders, and our hope became the foundation of a brighter tomorrow." May this message remind you that even in the darkest moments, light can always be found. And so, the capsule drifted into the infinite expanse, a small but enduring symbol of a galaxy's journey toward peace, unity, and boundless discovery. As the galaxy continued to thrive, every new generation carried the legacy of those who had come before. The stars became a canvas for their dreams, a reminder that the universe's vastness held both challenge and promise. On Earth, a new monument was unveiled in Unity Plaza, a towering spire of crystal and steel that seemed to touch the heavens. Its base was inscribed with a message that encapsulated the spirit of the Galactic Accord. "In the face of despair, we found hope. In the depths of conflict, we found unity. And in each other, we found the strength to create a future where all can flourish. This is our legacy, and it is infinite." Visitors from across the galaxy gathered to witness the unveiling, their faces lit with the glow of the monument's light. As they stood together, united by a shared history and an unbreakable bond, the galaxy looked to the stars, not as barriers, but as pathways to an endless horizon of possibility.